Well, I'd like to welcome back Stuart Spencer from Advanced Ear Care. Always good to have you here, sir.
Hey, always great to be here,
Yes.
Ken. Thank you.
Very good. We'll save you one of those fluffernuddle sandwiches.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. Today we're talking about a few different things, and one of the things that you've talked about on and off is the technology that's involved compared to, really, even if you compare it to 2-3 years ago, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. You know, all these manufacturers, you know, have brilliant people working for them that are trying to do the research. You know, it's kind of like curing a disease, right? You know, you're never going to stop until you get it.
Right.
You know, so, you know, we're never going to stop until we can put hearing aids on, people hear perfect.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So now, I mean, these hearing systems today have artificial intelligence in them. Some of them do. And, I mean, it's amazing, you know, they actually think about what you're hearing. You know, just in rapid fire, you know, these things look at your soundscape in front and back of you, measure that hearing, something ridiculous, like 16,000 times a second, and then decide how to amplify the sound in conjunction with your hearing loss.
That's amazing.
I mean, it's like, whoa, you know, I mean, so obviously, you know, people come back and they go, hey, these really work, you know, and so they're so much better.
Going back years and years ago, hearing aids were just basically amplifiers, right?
Sure.
There weren't much more than that.
No, that's right. You know, I mean, I go way back, you know, 37 years. I mean, we just put hearing aids in, people would turn them up and then they'd be too loud, then they'd turn them down and they couldn't hear, and they just throw them in a drawer, you know, I mean, those days are over.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, basically people put hearing aids on today, they wear them and hear better.
Right.
You know, they have some flexibility to manipulate the sound for different listening environments that they get into, whether it's a noisy restaurant, which is, you know, still our #1 problem for hearing, right? So much noise, they can't hear the speech. Now these things reduce the noise so the speech comes through and they can understand the conversations at the table much easier. So, you know, it's come a long way. It's come a long way. And, you know, the big deal is always background noise and tracking that background noise and trying to reduce that so that they can hear speech clearer. And, you know, that's a reality today.
Yeah, and that's really true even if you don't have hearing loss. If you are just, as you get older, you know, that natural progression, meaning you don't really need hearing aids, but you do go out in situations like restaurants or whatever it might be, and it becomes harder and harder to focus on something. And because restaurants are getting, you know, they've gotten noisier and noisier over the years.
Yeah, the chick thing is, you know, the loud open restaurant, hard floors, hard ceilings. You know, the more noise, the more popular they think the restaurant is. Yeah. You know, and I tell my patients, you know, one of the things is, you know, people with normal hearing have a harder time hearing in background noise in a noisy restaurant, right? So, you know, you go in there with your hearing aids, doesn't mean everybody stops talking. You know, I mean, there's still a lot of noise. But the thing is now, with these technologies that we have, today, you know, if you can go in that environment and you hear who you want to hear, guess what? Background noise doesn't matter. Yeah. Because now it's not overwhelming you. Right. And that's the exciting thing to really see happening.
Yeah. Very
and we
good.
test people in noise so we can see that happen.
So you create an environment.
That's right.
Yeah. Very good. Now, something else I know you've talked about are caption call phones.
That's right. So this is something, you know, we don't do, but, you know, there's a company, Caption Call, and they provide phones for hearing impaired people through a state, you know, services, through the California Telephone Access Program is exactly what it is. But, you know, people, they have to be certified that they have hearing loss in order to receive one of these phones. Okay. But the reason I wanted to talk about it today is they're amazing. You know, so when you're on a phone, it's all hearing, right? You can't watch somebody's lips or their attitude or their facial expressions or their body language. It's pure hearing. So if they're not hearing, they're struggling all the time. And, you know, even with good hearing aids, right? So, you know, with this, they have the captions come up, you know, just like closed caption on your TV. You know, it comes up with the words right on the screen so they can read along with the conversation. And they have an amplifier they can turn up and down. And so when they hang up, they can even scroll back through the conversation to make sure they got an appointment time right, a phone number right, you know, directions right, or a recipe or whatever it may be that the conversation was about. So it's been a great asset for us as an add-on type of thing. And these people are wonderful. You know, they come out to your home, you know, they hook it up, they install it, you know, they show you how to use it. I mean, they're very good, very good. You can even get up to 2 phones in a home. And they've just been really great with all their customer service. So, people come back and rave about it. So
Yeah.
if you're having problems on the phone, one of the things we do is if you want to come in and get certified, you can walk out of our office today with a telephone, and we'll set an appointment for them to come out and hook it up and show you how to use it.
All right, very good. That's a great option. Now, the other one is, something we're going to talk about here is obviously hearing aids, especially the more technology, like anything, can be quite pricey, right?
That's right. We have hearing aids at all pricing levels, from the top of the line, all the way down to, more economic type of hearing aids. But, even some of those low-cost hearing aids, are still, pricey, and so they're expensive for people.
Yeah.
So, one of the things I just wanted to mention today, that kind of eases people's burden financially is they have a program where there's we have a program where it's an 18-month financing program, and it's 0% interest.
Okay.
So they don't have to come up with everything, all at once just to be hearing better. They don't even have to put anything down. They can pay it all off over 18 months, and there's no interest whatsoever.
Okay.
So it just really, a lot of people like that, and it's been a great program for us.
Let me ask you along those lines. How long do hearing aids last?
Oh boy, that's a great question today. We have, hearing instruments. Well, number one, I have hearing instruments that people have been wearing for 12, 15 years, right? Their hearing hasn't changed. They like their hearing aids. They hear well with them. So hearing aids can last a long time.
Right.
The average is about 7 years, and then people change them. And usually it's not because the hearing aids went bad, or there's something faulty with them. It's just that there's something so much better.
Right.
They want to invest in it and upgrade their hearing and hear better.
Okay, again, I'm going to throw another question at you.
Sure.
Is there an exchange program to the point where you take back, like for instance, I can take back my iPhone into an Apple store, and depending how old it is, get something for it.
Sure.
Then they refurbish it, and depending, either they might resell it or they send it off somewhere else, whatever.
That's right. That's a great question.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you brought it up. We have a trade-in program, so they do get a big discount for their hearing aids, depending on how old they are, what kind of hearing aid it is. We have kind of a sliding scale for all that. And then when we trade those hearing aids, when people trade those hearing aids in, we just send them to the Starkey Hearing Foundation, and they refurbish them and fit kids around the world with them. And so they really go to a good purpose. The people get a big discount on their upgrade,
Right.
and they're hearing better, and it's really a great program.
Yeah, so that's a good thing.
So they do get a discount, that's right.
Right, and I would assume that maybe somebody's spouse passes away and they don't want the hearing aids, bring them to Stuart, because they'll be put to good use.
That's right. And
Instead of just throwing them away or something.
Oh yeah, no, bring them in. And then, another thing we see is if somebody does upgrade their hearing and their spouse has a hearing loss, we'll fit the old hearing aids on the spouse.
Okay.
Because they're more adequate for them since they're kind of a beginner with hearing aids. And then the person that's got the more difficulty has the more valuable or higher technology type of thing. So then everybody kind of wins.
Okay, that's a good way.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, finally, something about that, what you do is the testing, of course. You measure the results, making sure that it's going to be perfect for them.
Well, this is a great topic because it's really important for people to know that they're hearing the best they can hear. And I see a lot of different people come in from different walks of picking up a hearing aid, right? Different tracks of buying hearing aids, whether they bought them online, whether they bought them out of the back of a magazine, whether they bought them from another provider or wherever they may have gotten them. And two things that I see. One is that they have a hearing aid. No matter how you program it or what you do with it, they're never going to hear with it because it's not the right hearing system for
Right.
it. Two is they've got a great hearing aid and it's not programmed properly. So we measure that. We just test them with their hearing aids in their ears and see exactly how much they could be hearing, and then without their hearing aids, and then we can see what that potential difference is. Sometimes we just reprogram them and people are like, oh my gosh, Stuart, this is so much better.
Yeah.
And it's just a very simple thing. So we always want to measure and make sure people are getting the most out of the technology that they're wearing, for sure.
Very good. And how often do these need a little tune-up or need to come in and, every 6 months? Where you maybe
Sure.
Unless they're doing fine with them. But,
well, we actually, hearing aids take a lot of maintenance. You have the oil from your ear, the moisture, perspiration, all the elements, stuff on your hands when you're handling them. Hearing aids are very, very sensitive. The microphones are sensitive. I mean, you should see these microphones. They're so tiny in these things. And the speakers, right? It's the input and the output of the hearing aid. So those are the most vulnerable, pieces of the instrument. The circuit inside the hearing aid is sealed in epoxy, and it's bulletproof. So it's those input and output receivers that conductors that are so important. So we have people come in every 4 months. We clean those, blow them out, look in their ears, check for wax, make sure that's not a big problem or a big issue, and then just service the whole thing. And we like to see them at least 3 times a year. Other people more often if they have more of a serious issue.
All right, and that's a good point, because people can, nowadays wear them in the rain or whatever it might be, and but they can get wet.
Right.
And the point is, I think it's more about, like you said, oils and debris that builds up, less about they get rained on or something.
Right, rain, mild perspiration, that type of thing doesn't matter. I mean, I've done, just about everything with my hearing aids I'm not supposed to do.
Yeah.
Hopped in a shower, jumped in a pool, and just taken them off and let them dry out, they've been fine. I jumped in the ocean one time, that kind of killed them. They had to go back for repair.
Yeah.
But, we don't want people to do those things.
Okay.
But it happens, it's just life.
All right. Very good. All right. And you, of course, are over right across the way, and they've got their new sign up and everything else, and like the whole center over there, and it's looking good.
No, it's looking fantastic.
Yeah.
It's really great. We're really thrilled with the enhancements.
Yeah, and they still got a little bit more to do. We're adding new tenants over there, which just brings in business for everyone over there.
All the time.
Which is great. All right, the number, you can call Stuart anytime you'd like at 949-354-0079, advancedaircare.com, and he'll help you out.
That's right. We'll get you back on the air.
Take care.